Thanks for staying with us here on STL Live. We're back with Dr. Barbara Harbach and Dr. James Richards from UMSL, as well as the Symphony for Ferguson, which is coming up, our concert, Composers for Social Justice concert. I want to pick back up because the inspiration for this really came about last year from Ferguson. And tell me, you were halfway around the world watching this footage, and it clearly hit you in a profound way.
It was. We were in Muscat, Oman, and we were looking at, in the airport looking at it, and the television screens where St. Louis and Ferguson are burning. I mean, it was just a startling thing, and everyone asks, well, how are you? Is it safe? And we always say, yes, it is safe. It was disturbances and protests, but if we lived through it.
And you're both on the faculty side of things, but obviously you're also artists, you're musicians. And so, how is it when you see things and you sort of internalize it or process it, how does it come out as music?
Good question.
That's a very loaded question.
Very good question. And the idea of writing a symphony is good, and you kind of get some feelings for it and start translating those into notes and rhythms. And hopefully it comes out with something that is acceptable, in that sense. And
then when you bring it, let's say, to thinking of other composers who fought for social justice or somehow represented that, that's what you've tried to do here with the program, is that correct?
That's exactly right. Barbara's piece was the impetus for thinking about other composers and other compositions that expressed similar themes or came from similar kinds of inspiration. Beethoven's Symphony No. 3 leads off the program and is a piece that was dedicated with great ceremony to Napoleon, and then undedicated with great ceremony when he took some directions that Beethoven didn't admire. We have a wonderful short work, Lyric for Strings, by George Walker, an American composer. George, I'll actually read because I will get something wrong if I don't. George Walker has a list of more firsts than most people ever would have one or two. He was the first black graduate from the Curtis Institute, one of our premier conservatories. He was the first black instrumentalist to perform in Town Hall in New York, first to perform with the Philadelphia Orchestra, first to sign a major management contract, first doctorate from the Eastman School of Music for a black composer. He was the first black composer to win the John Hay Composer Award, and indeed the first black composer to win the Pulitzer Prize. So his position on this program, I think, is solidified from a number of different angles. But all of the pieces on the program have something to do with that leading question you put up. What inspires or what product comes from a composer being taken by a social justice theme?
I think it's so interesting because, we think a lot of, a different genre of music, perhaps, let's say, rock music of the 60s being tied to the Vietnam War, and people don't necessarily think about that these days in terms of contemporary music, or really sometimes even, I think, with classical music, putting into a full context. But there's plenty of it. There's tons of history behind it, as you just pointed out.
I think it's impossible to say any piece of music exists in a context.
Yes, yes.
Right. I often, myself, enjoy program notes that reflect those sorts of connections. They're not necessarily a blow-by-blow description of the piece, but they tell you how that piece fits in with the bigger art world, or with society, or with history, or it makes a connection.
Absolutely. I want to bring in the Missouri Humanities Council because they made much of this possible. Is that correct?
They absolutely did, and I was just honored to be asked to write a symphony. They have a movement going on called Just Listening, and it's done by the Missouri Humanities Council, and it's led by Dr. Kathleen Nigro of the University of Missouri St. Louis. And when they commissioned me, it is just one part of chronicling all the artists and what they are doing about the Ferguson movement.
Okay, now that's wonderful to hear. Well, go check it out. It's taking place. It's coming up on Tuesday, October 6th. We've got that information for you on the screen. It's called Composers for Social Justice. It's taking place at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Let's take a look on the screen at the number you can call for more information. It's 314-516-5980. It's again taking place Tuesday, October 6th at 7:30 at the Two Hill. It's free and open to the public, and anyone can go see it and have a night of great music and music with a message. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck, and good luck with the rest of the season, I should say. This is just one of many for the season. Just to start. Thank you again. Thank you. All right, well, when we return on STL Live, we'll chat with Colleen Starklaw from the 88-25 STL celebrations. We'll be right back after this break.